This is my protagonist, Funhouse, and she has DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder. Let's talk about a few things. When I was first starting therapy, I was put under evaluation for dissociative identity disorder, and it taught me a lot of things. Funhouse is a victim of trafficking and cult abuse, which is the same abuse I suffered when I was younger. One of the decisions I made when writing Funhouse was to leave a lot of things up to interpretation. A lot of media, and especially Hollywood's depictions of switches between alters have been overly dramatized, and this led people to believe that every switch should be obvious and noticeable to anyone. Of course, overt systems do exist. Some people's symptoms may be more obvious than others, but this isn't an accurate universal representation. Generally, a lot of DID and OSDD systems are covert, which means their switches and symptoms will go largely undetected by the average person and observer. A lot of the media we have right now doesn't really do a good job at exploring the subtle variety of switches. People forget that DID is a defense mechanism created by the brain. It would be so much harder to keep the system safe if everyone knew they were a system, or if everyone knew what was going on. For the sake of the system's safety, it's meant to protect them from not just internal triggers, but external triggers. Alters don't typically do a whole wardrobe change and announce their presence to the entire world. That, coupled with my own experience, is why I decided to make Funhouse's DID mostly up to interpretation. Her DID is hardly ever mentioned directly in the story, and many characters, even years later after knowing Funhouse, have no idea that she's a system. Very few characters pick up on it early on, but that's usually because of some sort of magical sense that they have. Generally, the other characters either have no idea, or they pick up on it later on, but they don't say anything about it. One of the few times it's mentioned directly is by her partners. The three of them are teenagers, so they're very curious and they ask a lot of questions. Both of them try to pick up on the subtle signs between each alter, but one of them has an easier time doing that than the other. The other side of this coin is when an antagonist or villain tries to take advantage of her DID specifically for their own gain. Funhouse's DID isn't her entire character. It's not really used as a motivation for a solution or the cause of a main problem in the story. And although of course it is a part of her, it is not her entirely, and I wish people understood that about people in real life as well.